welcome back. I am going to show you all how I do just my foundation without eyeshadow. So just like the base of what puts my face together. So the most important thing to make your eyes and everything look good is that your face looks really good. So if your face is beat, then your eyeshadow and everything else will just come together. Also, if you're not a fan of wearing eyeshadow, you don't really know how to apply eyeshadow on right, you can just do your foundation and it'll just look like you did a complete big transformation. So foundation and eyebrows are like a big part of your look. So I'll be showing you guys. This will be a talk through. I hope you guys can see me. I hope this camera is clear enough because I have a Canon T3i and it doesn't like focus on its own. You have to like do it yourself. So we will go ahead and get started. So the first thing you want to do is prep and prime your face. So what I'll be using, I love Clinique products. I'll be using Clinique moisturizing lotion. It's like in a little yellow tube. You can get the one like in a pump. This is the moisturizing lotion. If you have oily skin, you get the moisturizing gel. So that's for oily skin. If you guys hear any noise in the background, it is my fan right here and my AC. I have both of them on because it is like really hot today in Memphis. Like very hot. So after you moisturize your face, you're now gonna prime your face with a face primer, and this one is called Absolute New York, and I actually got this from a beauty supply store. I just wanted to try it out, and y'all, I love this primer. Like, it's dirt cheap. I think I paid like $2 for it, or $3. It's dirt cheap and it does wonders. Like, I really love it. I'm just gonna get a little bit of that, like one little squeeze of it, and kind of just pat it all over my face. And like I'm breaking out a little bit, so I'm concentrating in the areas that I've broken out at. And then like where your pores are more large, you're gonna concentrate it there as well. Okay, so we're done prepping our face. Now we're gonna go ahead and apply our foundation. So I'm taking my 159 brush by MAC and my Clinique Acne Solution Foundation in the color Ginger. Never mind. So I'm just gonna kind of pat it in there first and then buff it. And you can apply your foundation however you want to apply it that's best for you and it's easier for you. Okay, so now we're moving on to the concealer. I am using the LA Girl Pro Concealer that you can buy at the beauty supply store or Ulta. This color is called Cool Tan. So I've already squeezed a little bit and I'm just going to apply that up underneath my eyes. I'm using this concealer as a highlight, not to cover like any circles or any dark circles, because my foundation has already minimized those, so now I'm just using it to highlight. So now I am taking my Sunny Kashuk brush. I'm not for sure what you call this, but it looks like a thick pencil brush or a taper brush, and it's synthetic, and I'm just going to use that to blend in my concealer. It's a little damp because I washed it not too long ago, but that's okay. You know, it can help your concealer kind of spread a little bit better. So okay, so after you pat in your concealer, you're going to take your 159 brush again that we use for our foundation and just kind of pat it all over without adding any more foundation. You're just going to like blend that in, the concealer in with the foundation. Okay, so after you get through applying your foundation and your concealer and buff everything nicely, you're going to then take your powder brush, and this is from Sunny Kashuk, and this is my favorite brush ever. So I'm taking your powder brush, and I am taking my Studio Sculpt Defining Powder by MAC, and this color is called Medium Deep. So it's almost like it's like a translucent powder, but it's just going to give that flawless look without looking like you're applying any kind of powder. So there's actually powder on here, and from looking at the palette, looking at the powder, it looks like there's nothing taken away from it, and it looks like there's nothing on here, but after you apply it on your face, you can tell a difference. It kind of meshes everything beautifully together. So we're just going to buff that all over the face. Kind of just set everything before you start applying your other powders on top. Okay, so done with that part. Now we are going to move on to the highlighting and contouring with the powders instead of the liquids. So now I am taking my NC42 Studio Fix powder from MAC, and I'm using it to set my concealer with a sponge. Now the sponge comes with it, so I'm just going to take my sponge and just do it that way. Put some on my sponge and just pat it on top of that concealer. Down the nose, onto the forehead. Okay, so on top of that NC42, we're now going to go into, this is so messy, my Airspun loose powder. You can see it from the top. Airspun loose powder. And this color is called Honey Beige. And I'm taking my fluffy brush, and this is from BH Cosmetics. It was like, I don't know, $2, I can't remember, but it was dirt cheap. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that powder, dust some on here, kind of tap off the excess, and then just concentrate it right underneath my eyes. And you just dusting it on there, dusting it on the nose, onto the forehead. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more highlight. Get your brush, your powder brush, and kind of just dust everything off. The excess off. So now I'm just going to take my NYX Highlight and Contour Pro palette. I got this at Ulta. It's very similar to the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. Just like it, I really don't see any difference when I apply it. Stays on just as good. And I think this was $15. You have to be very careful when you use these colors because they're super pigmented. I'm going to use the darkest one right here, but use it very lightly. And I'm just going to start up here and start contouring on my forehead and come down on my sides. Oh, I forgot to tell you what brush this is. This is Sony Catrick brush as well, blush brush. That's what I usually use it as. And sometimes I use it as my foundation brush. Make sure you blend it well, because you don't want to be looking like you done fell in some mud and then looking all crazy walking around in public. Take a 3 like this, so you know where to contour it. So like that right here. Okay, so now we have contoured the perimeter of your face. Now we're going to contour the nose. So instead of me using the contour palette, I'm actually going to use the NW50 that I was telling you about by MAC. And this is the Studio Fix powder, NW50. So you want to get something that's a little darker than your skin. So you can either use a pencil brush like this. I don't know if you can see it. Pencil brush like this, or an angular brush like this one. My angular brush, I'm going to use that one. It's the 275 brush from MAC, and it's a fluffy angular brush. So I'm just going to start that in my crease first. So you also contour in your crease, and then I'm just going to make my way up in the beginning of my eyebrow, and then I'm just going to start contouring down the side of my nose. Just kind of connect that into the crease of my eyes. Now I'm going back with my fluffy brush with the airspun powder on it, honey beige, and just go over the center and down the bridge of the nose onto the forehead. And I'm just going to dust a little bit of that powder on the side too, so you can just kind of buff it and blend in the contour with the highlight. Like that. One more thing with our highlight on the palette. I will be using this highlighting color right here. It's more of a yellowish tone. And I am going to be using my brush from Sonny Kashuk as well again. And this one, I would consider this as a contouring brush. It's kind of thick and it's kind of wide for me to use it as a contouring to me, but that's what this is. But you can use it for foundation. Sometimes I use it for foundation as well. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that, just tap it in there like that. Tap out the excess and kind of just put it right here on my cheekbone. Just a little more of a highlight. So now to add some glow to your face, I am going to take my Bronze Glow from Ruby Kisses and my fluffy powder brush again, but this time we're done using the powder brush for like normal things. So now we're just going to sparkle it up a little bit. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this. You want to take too much. And just kind of put that on the cheekbones. Just kind of dust it on there. On the forehead. Just a little bit. And another good bronzer that you can use would be Gold Deposit by MAC. It's very similar to this, except for Gold Deposit, it's a lot more pigmented and it's too pigmented. So you have to be really careful with that. So now I'm taking one of my favorite products by MAC, and this is called Silver Dusk. It is super pigmented as well, and it's loose, but it's so gorgeous. So you're just gonna take a little bit of that, a little. Or you're going to be looking like you're wet on your face and looking all crazy and stuff. So I'm taking the top and I'm just going to dust my powder in there a little bit. My powder brush. Dust a little bit off. That's all you need. Put a little bit on the cheekbones. Down the nose. On the forehead. All your highlighting points. You can also add a little bit of blush to your face if you want. It's optional. I don't like blush like that, but I'm just going to do a little bit. You're probably not going to be able to see it at all, but this one is called Pleasure Model by MAC, and I'm using my contouring brush from Sonny Kashuk. Just a little bit of it, but this is actually like a blush brush. Use it for anything. Just a little bit. On the apples of the cheeks, just to bring a little bit of color to your face. So your face is complete. Now you can go ahead and do your eyebrows if you like. I suggest that you do your eyebrows. Like I said in the beginning, it pulls everything together along with your foundation. So go ahead and fill in your eyebrows. If you want to know how to do my eyebrows, check out my eyebrow tutorial, my updated eyebrow tutorial, and I will put that link in my description so you guys can check that out. And so I had to put my wig on because I'm about to do a review on this hair. So I'm just putting on a little bit of chapstick, doing some little touch-ups. So that completes our foundation routine. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for your time, your patience. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Otherwise, I will see you guys on my next video.
Makes the cheese mouth